Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and change out the sprocket, front and rear, and the chain on my bike. So let me get everything gathered up and we'll get this process started. And I'll show you what I got, both tool-wise as well as with sprockets and chain I'm putting on. I went ahead and picked up the Vortex 520 SX3 tri-glide chain. Here's a 15 tooth, and it's a steel front sprocket from Vortex. And this is a 43 tooth, and it's steel from Vortex as well. And I got this Motion Pro tool, chain breaker tool. Pretty stoked to use it. And it has some heft to it. So pretty excited to check that out. Or actually get to use it in this build here. So what I'm going to start off by doing is removing the wheel speed sensor along with this little cover, so I have access to the front sprocket. And then I will loosen the front sprocket, go ahead and break the chain. So I'll break the chain, I'll probably grind off one of the pins, and then I'll push the pin through. And then we'll go ahead and remove the wheel and then get the rear sprocket on. Then I'll go ahead and get the front sprocket on. When I put the chain on and get the pin pushed back through and mushroomed out with the tool, then I will go ahead and torque down the front sprocket nut. Because basically I'll have my wife stand on the brake so the sprocket doesn't spin, and then I'll torque at the spec. So yeah, let's get into this project. All right, so these are 8mm. I'm going to unscrew the speed sensor.
Just get it out of the way.
So there's the cover. Now I have access to the sprocket itself. I'm going to break this nut loose. My wife is going to stand on the rear brake. Push any harder. All right, this thing was being a royal pain in the butt. I used the 27mm socket. It would not break. I used the 32 on the outer nut up here, and it was a 6-point. It would not break. So used the grinder. I ground it down, and now I'm just beating on it to get it to loosen. Obviously I'm not going to touch it right now because it's a million degrees probably. I'm going to go ahead and grind down the head of the pins here. That way it just makes it easier to push them out. This was the original one that they mushroomed out. So that's the ones I'm gonna cut off with the grinder and then use the tool to push the pins out. All right, so I went ahead and just set up the tool. It is in the brake configuration currently, so this is going to go over the pin on the opposite side of where I ground this off, so that way it can push the pin out through that space. You can see it's hollow. So I'm going to go ahead and get it set up. Basically, body bolt snugged up, that way it's in the correct location. Then here you have the extraction bolt that will push the pin out. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrenching on this and push the pin out slowly. Forgot to put the handle on to actually have something to push against. So as you can see, it's starting to push the pin through, which is exactly what we want. All right, that's one pin. So that's one pin that slid out. Now I just got to do this other side. Or actually, no, I don't. I just need one. So sweet. Let's go ahead and pull the chain off. Go ahead and pull this sprocket, and this was a 16 tooth, and I'm going down to a 15 tooth. I'm going to go ahead and pull the rear wheel off so I can swap out the rear sprocket. Get this cotter pin out first. I do have a new one if this one gets too damaged for me to put it back in. Cotter pin out. This one is 1.25 inches to get this one pulled. And slide the axle out. In the washer. I got the rear wheel off. I put it on 2x4 so it wouldn't be setting on the rear rotor. These are 14 millimeters. here's the new one. The old one was definitely aluminum, 43 tooth. The new one is a 43 tooth as well, but it is steel. So a little bit of weight difference for sure. But I am going down one tooth in the front, so that should help with acceleration. Get this cleaned up. All right, got it all cleaned up. Gonna throw the sprocket on. You can put this on incorrectly, but it's very difficult. The label faces out, so going like that. These get torqued to 44 foot-pounds according to the manual. I was going to put some Loctite on it, but the manual does not say to do that, and neither does the sprocket kit insulate like instructions, so I'm not going to. And you are supposed to tighten them in a star pattern, so basically once I get them down to the sprocket, I'll start tightening them in a star pattern with the torque wrench. All right, and they're all tightened up. Go ahead and throw the axle back through. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the chain tensioner and push it all the way forward. And that way, whenever I put the new chain on, we can adjust it where it needs to, but at least we're starting out with it zeroed out essentially. So do that on both sides. Let me go ahead and throw the front sprocket on. I can put that on and then put the chain on. That thing is very greasy. One of the videos I watched, which was Ari Henning, he basically recommended wiping off all the grease that you possibly can, because if not, it's just gonna sling off onto your bike anyways, and then you're gonna have to wipe it off the bike. So his recommendation was go ahead and wipe as much of the grease off of the new chain. All right, I routed the chain. Unfortunately, my camera was pointing at the ground. So now I'm gonna put the master link in and use the PBR chain tool to basically mushroom out the ends. So let's get that done. All right, so essentially we're gonna use this grease and we're gonna pop this side through the back side of the chain. We'll have an O-ring here. I don't know if you can see that. An O-ring here, an O-ring here. Then it'll go through the chain. And then we'll put another O-ring, and then our plate, just like that. And then we'll mushroom out the ends of these so that the chain doesn't come off. or come apart. Alright, unfortunately I don't have a whole lot of battery left, but I'm going to attempt to get this riveted on. My tool setup with the rivet. Then since these are dimple styles, there's a special tip that will mushroom out the hollow dimple rivets. All right, the GoPro died, but I didn't stop working to charge the battery. So I'm going to give you a current update. The front sprocket is on. I'm waiting to get the washer and the nut, since I had to cut it off to get it removed. And I went ahead and got the chain on as well and pressed out. So essentially master links in, and then using the PBR Motion Pro chain tool, I was able to mushroom out the ends, so that way the pins don't slide out. So we're going to go ahead and open up the washer and throw it on. I'm going to go ahead and open up the nut for this. This does need torque down to 92.2 foot-pounds. So basically we're going to break out the torque wrench. 92.2 foot-pounds. I'm going to need to lower the bike off the stand and then be able to push the rear brake. A 6.27mm socket on my torque wrench. I'm going to go ahead and get it positioned before I hold down the rear brake. Okay, so front sprocket has been torqued down. I'm going to go ahead and bend the washer down so the nut can't back off itself. Go ahead and throw the front sprocket cover on, as well as the wheel speed sensor. The wheel speed sensor wire is right here, so that'll go on the sprocket cover. I will work on getting the chain tightened, as well as the axle nut and cotter pin in, and we should be good to go. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next one. See you.